welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent converts and seasoned fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
And happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who sent me beautiful, beautiful photos of all the boys I love the most on Twitter. That was so nice.
Yeah.
I got so many pretty pictures.
You were very blessed on your birthday this year with boys. Like, on a few minutes after midnight, like, on your birthday, we saw pictures of, like, new 17.
Yes. 17 was walking into Music Bank because on my birthday, June 28th, Music Bank did a mid-year special where they invited, like, pretty much everybody to come and do their either like their number one hits or their like a special performance or a B-side or something like a special. It's like almost like I think it's like an hour and 45 minutes of an episode. So 17 walked in and they were photographed outside the building, and Minghao has silver hair now and it's so pretty. And some of the boys look very broad.
Yeah,
and
I'm literally so distressed by how thick June's neck is.
It's
like,
so thick
it's
now.
distressing to me. I do not like this. Because that was just them like walking in. And, like, some of them look too buff. But then the, like, outfits they chose to wear on stage. And Angelica's like, I don't know, the madness is overtaking her already.
I honestly don't even know where to begin.
Have you, I think this is I feel like this is a new experience altogether. This falling for a rookie group. Like little boy rookie group and being with them when they make this turn into we're a man group now.
Yes. And I've been afraid of it since
you realized you loved them, knowing that it would come someday, or what?
No. Well, like I probably, yes, maybe in the back of my mind I've always been nervous for it, but all their music, like when I became a fan of them, like the music they were coming out with, like Oh My was still very sweet and cute, and even something like Call 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 was like a little sexy, but they're very covered up, and like Boom Boom is like they're taking off a jacket to revel a high neck sweatshirt
jacket.
Like they're all very like innocent. And then when they debuted Getting Closer,
right,
was when I was like, uh-oh, these boys are growing up and I don't know if I'm ready for it. And then Good to Me came out. And like I said on the podcast, I was like, fuck. This is not
That
acceptable.
is what you said on the podcast. Fuck. I'm sure we could go back. I bet that is exactly what you said.
It is. I think I said Good to Me was hard to me.
Yes, that is what you said. Oh my God.
Because Minghao was wearing mesh, like fishnet shirt underneath his blazer. And I was like, what the fuck? And then this happened. This Music Bank happened.
Yeah, I guess to be more specific, because I feel like she's just not going to be able to like string the words together. But they did 2 stages. They did Home, and they were all wearing like very, very large white shirts, like those really, really oversized
like ridiculously large button ups, but like very nice fitted pants, and they all just looked very like clean and pretty. June looked great. And then,
Baby Boo was hurt, so he was like sitting to the side, and he looked like I don't know, like the narrator in their play. Like it was just
he looked like the narrator.
Cute.
Yeah, Boo hurt his ankle, so he was sitting to the side for both performances. And then Good to Me came out, and before anyone, if you haven't watched this, like just so you know, Hoshi, Minghao, and Joshua are wearing fully translucent shirts with nothing on underneath.
Vernon too, right?
Yes, Vernon. Wait, I wrote it down. Hold on, I have to find it. I do. Hold on. Okay. DK is wearing a fishnet mesh shirt underneath his blazer. He looks the best. His outfit was my favorite. Hoshi and Minghao and Vernon are wearing fully translucent shirts. Joshua is not wearing a shirt underneath his blazer. Wonwoo also has a mesh fishnet t-shirt on underneath, just like DK's, but he's wearing like a regular blazer, and DK's blazer has like
cutouts.
See-through cutouts on the sleeves, and it fits him really well, and he looks really buff. And then Mingyu is in a crop top vest.
It was like a baby vest. It was a child's vest.
And he's wearing like these high-waisted pants. And good to me, the choreography has this like the Eve style choreography where they like bring their hands up like they're in handcuffs. And he's just like, tummy. All the tummy.
Even Baby Dino's back like shirt was like had back cutouts. Like it was like one of those cowboy shirts where there's like a different color on the shoulders and the like upper back,
yes,
but it was
but the
see-through.
different color was see-through.
And he's the baby.
He's always been kind of a hoe, but he's the baby.
And
now, and I just like the growing fear of 17 growing up has been in the back of my mind for a while now. And I was talking with you, and I was talking the other day about how like maybe they just need to like rip the Band-Aid off, you know, and just like because they're just like slowly, like one tiny piece at a time, like getting sluttier. I don't know if I'm ready for this Band-Aid to come off, but this felt mean. This performance felt mean.
Jenna said it was mean.
It was mean.
That's a good description.
Mean. I needed more preparation before you throw nipples on the stage.
Yeah,
I saw nipples on the stage.
Yeah. Oh, no more pen breaking. You broke a pen last week.
I just threw it.
No pen breaking.
17!
More on that later, but we need to, we'll move on so that your blood pressure can even back out. But something that like feels late now, but I couldn't talk about it last week because last week we were only talking about 2 p.m. and it just like feels unfair in deep dives to be talking about other stuff. But I need to talk about the Monsta X English release, Who Do You Love? Monsta X featuring French Montana. That came out a while ago. And I felt like I don't know how to describe how the music video makes me feel, but it's like, it felt like it had been a while for me that like somebody I love had like a comeback or a music video where I liked everything about it so much. Cause I feel like, you know, sometimes you're like, this is great, but like, oh, that haircut or like, oh, those outfits I didn't love. But like, oh my God, I love every single bit of the music video except for the French Montana part.
I was just going to say, I was like, but you do have a butt.
I forgot. For the Monsta X of it all, like, but like, I don't know why that guy's in there. And that kind of bums me out because like back to our K-pop in America thing, I just like wish that labels didn't feel like they needed to throw American artists in things to make people want to listen to them. Like, because everybody I played the song for was like, this is so great, but the French Montana part is dumb and shouldn't be there. Like everybody said that.
It's unnecessary. It is the hardest part of the whole song to understand, which is ironic. Crazy. And I have no idea who French Montana is. So I
guess he's someone, but he's on the same label as them, which is why it probably happened. But like,
whatever.
But the rest of it is so good. And like, to use Stan Twitter language, like it's a good one to show the locals.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, it's entirely in English and it's like very palatable and like.
And goddamn, they're beautiful.
Yeah, every single one of them looks so good. Every outfit is good. Every shot is good. I just like wish there was like a making of or like 10 more minutes of like Shonu dancing alone on that stage.
Yes,
like,
I need a whole video of Shonu dancing alone on that stage. I need further back shots of Chuan in that see-through shirt.
Yeah, they didn't get enough of it.
More I Am.
Yeah, he should have the
should have the French Montana.
Putting it out into the universe when they're here next month promoting and they do Today Show and stuff. I heard that's the song they're gonna promote like when they're here. So I hope to God that means that I Am takes that verse and changes the lyrics and makes it different and they don't invite French Montana to come do it or play it. Just please, just fix it because he doesn't have lines and that's egregious because he also didn't have lines in the Steve Aoki English version of Play It Cool. Like, why do they keep doing that to him? I don't like it.
That's very weird because his mixtape was like entirely in English.
Yes.
He prides himself on his imperfect English.
Imperfect is a kind word to use. But so that's really great. like early recommendation. If you haven't checked that out yet, please do, because so good, so good. And then another cool, fun Monster X thing that I just must talk about because it's another good thing to watch is the Cartoon Network cartoon We Bare Bears had a Monster X episode recently.
Oh my gosh, it's perfect.
It's so good.
It's so good. It's like 11 minutes long and it's worth every second. I think I watched it on YouTube.
I did too.
It's so cute. It's so cute.
Yeah, it's just like Monster X themselves were all there and provided their own voices. But it's like the premise is that like Panda is a fan of Monster X and it's his birthday, and the other two bears like want to get him to see Monster X, and they do like a sort of like Beatles help-esque thing. They sneak into the hotel and then like there's the girls outside and like we got to get out. But I felt very seen by it. Like I felt like they worked really hard to like understand the K-pop world. And I know the guy who makes it like is a K-pop fan, at least of like a couple of girl groups.
Yeah.
So he seemed to get it.
They did the fan culture justice, I think, because it starts out, I mean, the premise of the show, if you're not familiar with We Bare Bears, is just like a panda bear, a brown bear, and an ice bear are like friends, and they get into antics. It starts out with Panda, the one who's a fan of Monster X. He like goes through the member profiles.
He's practicing choreography videos at home,
and the animated choreography is so well done.
Yes.
I could watch that for hours.
And then he goes through the member profile. Like he goes through the member profiles. It's so funny.
It's so cute.
And then I feel like they did a very nice job of like having Monster X just come off very well, because like all of their lines are like fun, and these bears break into their hotel rooms, but they're just like, hey man, you can chill with us. And then like the girls all press in and break the windows and they're like, oh, we should run. And they're not, they like, even though it's like maybe a little annoying that they had to do the like crazy fangirl thing, but I felt like they handled it in a way that just seemed like fun.
Yeah, it was really funny. And I thought that they did a really good job of like not taking it all too seriously, but without making fun of any of it.
Yeah.
Like Monster X, when you first see them on the show, they come out of the elevator doing choreography. They're like all dancing to one of their, and then they like burst in through the door. They do the
like hero shirt move, and then they like stand there.
They like get there into there, and they're like, haha, we're here, Monster X, in our hotel room. And it's just it's so great. It's just really fun, and like hearing their actual voices in it they did a great job.
It was really nice. And the thing that made me my favorite part is at the very end, there's like a little montage sort of music video thing to end it. And there was a shot that was literally Monster X and the Bears laying in a pile. And I screamed because I love boy piles, and only K-pop gives me piles of boys. So like, I just felt really seen by that. So I just wanted to thank all the people involved. It was good.
It was good. It was great. Good job.
All right. Well, speaking of watching things, I guess it's probably time to get to today's topic.
Yeah, that's as good of a segue as any. Speaking of K-pop on United States TV
children's
shows.
television, even.
Yes.
So it's if you.
It was a good segue.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thanks. So if you checked the title when you pressed play on the episode, you know it's movie club time again, which means we watched a movie, and hopefully you did too. If you didn't, we'll describe it to you. But this movie is very easy to watch, so we think you probably should. But its title is The Wonder Girls. That's the title. It came out in 2012. And it was a Nickelodeon or Teen Nick original movie produced by Nick Cannon.
Yes, produced by Nick
Which
Cannon.
I thought was very funny because in our last movie episode, we called one of the characters not Nick Cannon. And this movie has actual Nick Cannon.
It is produced by Nick Cannon, and he has a cameo in it. That is very true.
Real Nick Cannon.
Real Nick Cannon is in it this time. Before we start talking about the movie, I just had to ask you, it was the first thing I thought of as I watched these credits begin. Do you feel closer to Boo now that you've watched this and know a little bit more about his precious Wonder Girls?
Yeah. I feel like I like the Wonder Girls more. Like, I feel like I like the Wonder Girls more now.
Mm-hmm. I know more about them, and they're so cute.
I like know their names and their faces and stuff, which I didn't before. So that's exciting. But yeah, I guess basic background, as much as I could find. Like we talked about a couple of weeks ago, the Wonder Girls moved to America for like a couple of years.
Yes.
And part of that turned into this Nick Cannon produced original movie called The Wonder Girls that they shot in 2011. And yeah, I couldn't find much more about like how it came to be or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure. I wonder if, and I guess we could talk about the other girl group in this movie up at the top instead of at the end.
Sure.
If only because they may have been the reason that this movie was made in the first place.
Interesting. Okay.
Because
tell us more.
So there's a group called the Schoolgirls, GYRLS.
When I was first taking notes, I wrote it down because I just, hearing them say it, my guess was SKOOLGURLZ.
I thought it was GURLZ.
Schoolgirls, but it's Y.
It's a Y.
I've never seen that before.
The only thing that they change, they don't misspell school.
No.
School is spelled correctly. Anyway, so these girls, they were a real group signed to Nick Cannon's Incredible Entertainment label.
Interesting.
They debuted in 2008 with a self-titled movie and self-titled album that was released on Teen Nick. That was in 2010, or they debuted in 2008, excuse me. And then in 2010, 2 years later, they had a self-titled Nick movie and an album. Only peaked at 118 on the Billboard charts. And then later that year, in December of 2010, they had a second movie and an album of the same name. And then they lost 2 members and they replaced them with 2 other members and then came out with this Wonder Girls movie. And so there was like a pattern of theirs to come out with, like every year, out with a movie and a new album, but they are not the stars.
They're
of this
the
movie.
villains in this movie. So that
in this movie.
the fact that they had other movies where they are presumably the star,
the heroes,
that's shocking to me
Yes.
because they are mean.
They're
mean people
and like kind of racist until
Yes.
the end. Yeah.
Yes.
And so, well,
We'll get
to
there,
tell
but-
us a sad story, I suppose, after this movie, the Schoolgirls changed their name to Forever, lost a member, then another member, then another member, and then there was no one left. So they like literally
Fizzled.
one by one left and ended. So this was like the last thing that they did.
Yeah, I didn't think to look. I'm glad you looked that up because I didn't think to look up if they were real singers because I was just looking at their IMDb's and only the Filipino girl had other credits.
Yeah, none of the other girls had any because at first I thought like, oh, is this like, are they like a dance crew or something?
I assumed they might have just been like from the Nickelodeon talent pool, like girls who could sing and they just like.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, from the John Robert Powers.
The
Institute.
redhead had a really familiar face, but I couldn't place her and she didn't have an IMDb page.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah.
So okay, that makes sense if that was like if Nick Cannon was scrambling for a script for his next Schoolgirls movie and then JYP was like, hey, I have money, I'll make a movie.
Exactly. So maybe, especially because the Wonder Girls, they did tour with the Jonas Brothers. And so maybe JYP had this idea of like, oh, like getting them on kids' TV, like that's a good idea. And then somehow connected with Nick Cannon. Maybe he was like, hey, I saw your Boa movie. And Nick Cannon was like, that wasn't me. I
don't know. Who knows? All right. So let's get started talking about it. So yeah, this movie is a cool 45 minutes. And I'll just say up
like
top.
43.
Oh, okay.
So
Not
fast.
even 45. I just have to, before we even start, I just have to get it out there that like, I liked this. I watched it twice in a row this morning. 2 times in a row.
I totally didn't hate this movie, and we'll talk about it as we like sort of break it down. But I think we should preface this by saying Shannon and I have confessed this before in that we love pop music. We always have from like being very young, like even stuff like C'est La Vie, like Bewitched, or whatever. But we also really love kids.
Yeah, I think we
TV.
just have a soft spot for like young
The Disney
adult
Channel
TV
and like
programming
Nickelodeon, yeah, because we also really love the Jonas Brothers
and
like,
High School Musical.
And and we've like watched those and
Wizards
kept up with
of
those
Waverly
things
Place.
well into our 20s.
Remember when we watched Wizards of Waverly Place and
Yes.
Sunny with a Chance, and we would drink by the pool and talk about what was going on on Sunny with a Chance? Like,
Yeah.
I used to blame it on the fact that like I babysat constantly growing up. So like you watch a lot of kids TV and then I don't know, I think you just sort of learn to appreciate when it's not horrible. You can get into it. But yeah, I don't know. There's just something about like that sort of genre of TV that I like don't hate.
Well, there's something about that genre of TV when it has this edge of like self-awareness to it.
Yes, there's a way to do it right.
There's a way to do it right where the comedy hits well because it's a little bit winking at the audience like we know what this is. And sometimes there are jokes in there that for the kids that are the targeted audience, that joke might go over their head, but like as an adult watching it, it's very enjoyable. So I love watching that kind of shit. So I thoroughly enjoyed this movie as well.
Yes, it's definitely like I texted you this morning. It's not as good as the first season of Jonas, but like it's not terrible either. So
but the first season of Jonas is pretty perfect TV.
It's so good. Okay, so we'll get started. So the movie opens with a credit sequence where it's like intercut footage of like the Wonder Girls wearing white wigs.
Why the wigs? The wigs were so bad.
They were very strange. And then like footage from their tour, like footage of them on stage and stuff. And then it like flashes through the cast. So to tell you who the cast is, because there had been significant changes to the Wonder Girls lineup by this point. So the first person credited in the credits, it says Yenny.
Yes.
This is Yoon. And these days she goes by the name Hotfelt.
Oh, okay.
And she has like, in the movie, she has like blonde hair and there's always like a poof, like a bump it poof in the front. And then next was Yubin. And this is the Wonder Girls rapper. And in the movie, she has like a side bangs.
Yeah, she's also blonde in it. She's stunning in the entire movie. And I feel like she's like the wise one.
She kind of looks like Boa, I thought.
Yes.
They have similar faces. And then Sohee is next in the list. And I know Sohee from an episode of Running Man that I love a bunch. Like it's the one, the math challenge, and like Mino has helmet hair in it. Anyway, she talks very little in that episode of Running Man. Like she barely says anything, but everything she says is like the funniest thing. And she just like says it quiet and she's cracking everybody's shit up. But like, I don't know. I feel like she also doesn't really talk much in this movie.
No,
she has like cute cheekies. Like, I don't know.
She doesn't say
cute.
a lot.
She doesn't say a lot. And then next is Sunyi, but she is credited as Sun in her character's name is Sun in the movie. And she has very sharp bangs and a very little face. Yeah. And she's the one who married a missionary and like moved away. And the reason that she always comes up in the news is like for the past couple of years, she'll always announce like, I got a new agency and I'm going to come out with a solo album. Or I'm going to come out with a movie. And then she gets pregnant instead and she doesn't come back.
Oh.
She's done it like several times. It's very weird.
Interesting.
And I forgot to say, like, just for Wonder Girls timeline's sake, Yubin, the rapper, is the one who replaced Hyuna when Hyuna left at the beginning.
Okay.
And then the last member they show is credited as Lim, but this is Hedim, and she was the one who replaced Sunmi when Sunmi the year before went back home to go to school. So Sunmi started out with them in America.
Oh, okay.
And left to go to school, and then they brought up this trainee.
Oh.
And she was in there till the end.
Interesting.
So, so they have like a couple of them have different names for the movie. Oh, and then it says JYP as JY. His character's name is just JY. Like, just finish
JY.
it. And then a guy named Akeem Smith is playing Mitchie.
Oh, Mitchie.
And he's just like a tall, like light-skinned black guy, and he's like makes crazy faces.
Yeah, and he's here to teach them all of the hit American slang.
We'll get to Mitchie later. And then there's one more credit, Angie Stone as Betty. And when I looked up Angie Stone, I saw like a very successful recording artist, but I couldn't connect the Wikipedia page for the like singer and this very small IMDb page for the actress. And there weren't enough pictures of either to see if they were the same person. But it's possible that this lady was like
actually a singer.
A singer. But
she plays a singer.
But that's the credits.
Yeah. Yeah. And the credits, like when they have like the cheesy, like the nameplate that like comes on with a freeze frame of each person.
Yes.
So that you can tell who they are.
So that's who we're working with. So the opening of the movie, they're on a... Oh,
wait,
no,
I
please.
just wanted to say, I don't know if this was a purposeful thing, but in that opening credit montage, they have a shot of them in these silver glittery dresses with beehives, and I thought they looked so much like the Kim sisters, which we brought up a little while ago, and I wonder if that was like a purposeful homage or
I
just
thought that too at the end when they had their
coincidence.
beehives, and I wondered.
I thought their dresses were going to be those silver ones from the beginning opening, but they weren't.
But they weren't.
Anyway, we'll get to that.
We'll get to it. Okay, so then it opens on like a big luxury plane.
Yes.
And JYP like is calling all of their names like one at a time, and then they show them so you can like see them, but they're like reading a magazine or whatever.
Yeah, this is where you get like each girl's like personality, like you know when like in the Spice World movie where you like get to see their tour bus and you see like
everybody's corner
each
of
person
it.
in their little corner. Yeah. One of them's reading, one of them's sleeping, one of them's playing a game.
So then JYP sets up the premise, which is that they are going to America for 2 weeks for a tour, and it's very important.
Yes.
And they have to be serious. And
you
they
have to work.
And they say, the Wonder Girls always stick together. And I started to wonder if they were going to say a lot like, the Wonder Girls always. And they do.
They do.
So then we cut to Yenny sitting and looking at a tablet, and we meet Betty.
It's amazing what they can do with technology these days. You can actually surf the internet on an airplane. Honey, what will they think of next? Look at that. The Apollo Theater.
Have you ever been there?
Child, have I been there? I've graced that stage more than once in my days.
Really? It's always been my dream to visit the Apollo. I'm Yenny.
And I'm Betty Charleston. Nice to meet you, Yenny.
Okay, so we meet Betty. Yep. And this is pretty much the setup. Like, the Apollo Theater is very important. It's Yenny's dream to play there.
Yeah. Why is it her dream? We don't know.
We don't
know. It just
know.
always has been. I wrote exposition from a motherly stranger sets up the goal as the Apollo.
Yes.
Like, thank you, Betty.
And if you are unawares, the Apollo is like a historic Black theater in New York.
In Harlem.
And it's like famous for having like a raucous crowd that will like kick you off the stage if they don't like you.
Yeah.
And there's like a stump on the side and you have to like rub it before you go on
there's
stage.
like a stump for good luck. And basically, the audience will boo you, and like if they don't like you, they will interrupt your set, and you will just have like you don't get to finish, like you're done. So you get like immediate feedback.
Yeah. And when I was growing up, there was a show that was on like really late at night on cable, and it was like called Showtime at the Apollo, and it was like a stand-up show. And then there was like a character, or at one point it was Savion Glover from Sesame Street, and if you were doing bad, he would come tap you off.
Oh my god!
So it's just like an old history. It's a very historic like place, and it's very important in this movie. So that's the Apollo.
I do want to point out at this point that first of all, this movie has sound effects. And so that is there from the very beginning. Like when they first show up on the plane, they have little like blink, blink, and like whoop, like little sound effects throughout the whole thing. I loved it. The opening scene at first, it made me think of like Josie and the Pussycats and like
the plane.
Jour. Yeah. But then all of a sudden Yenny is sitting next to Betty, and I was like, wait, are we not on a private plane anymore? Like
Yeah, no, that's just first class, I guess.
Yeah, right? Like they were in a separate compartment, and then all of a sudden they're sitting next to strangers.
And it's like a train, because they're like two sets of seats like facing each other with tables in the middle, like on a train. I've never been in a very fancy part of an airplane. I don't know if they're like that, but it seemed odd.
It seemed strange.
So then they land at the W Hotel, which is the other location of this movie. Has a few locations. The W Hotel is one of them. And it's probably this one here in LA. I'm pretty, like, I think they did get shots at the actual Apollo, but otherwise it was 100% like probably filmed in LA, or maybe not, because they lived in New York,
lived in
right?
New York. I'm sure it was filmed in New York, but it was like definitely filmed on a soundstage, I'm sure.
But maybe not, because some of the sound was so echoey in a lot of the points
true,
that like
actually.
maybe it
That's
wasn't
true.
a set
That's
and they
true.
were in real places. So then they like meet their team, and they're like, JYP's like, this is the choreographer. And because she didn't say anything at first, I immediately looked up if she was a real choreographer, because I thought like, oh, maybe they didn't give her lines because she's a real, but no, she comes up later.
Yeah.
And then we meet Mitchie, and I have to play Mitchie's intro.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, my bad. This is Mitchie. He'll be your driver while you're here.
Yo, what's up? I'm Mitchie, and I know all the nooks and crannies of the Big Apple. You want it? I got it. You need it? I can get it. So y'all ready to get this thing popping?
Ooh, popcorn?
Ooh, no, not at all. But that's all right. That works too. Come on, bring it in, girls.
Okay.
What a girl have?
They've left him alone in the lobby.
No? Okay, I see how it's gonna be. No love for Mitchie. Want no hug, no way.
No, Mitchie. No love for Mitchie.
No love for Mitchie. So
I actually didn't hate Mitchie by the end.
no,
I wrote, yikes, Mitchie. I thought JYP would be the worst part. But he grows on you.
he grows on you for sure. Like, he's definitely like on their side, but it's just very funny. I feel like this is a very specific like type of character that exists. He's doing his best at it. Then they got to they're like, it's time to go out, and JYP's like, you guys can go out for the night. And then there's like the worst, they just like put on I Heart New York t-shirts and just took several pictures, and then they just like put them on background. Like, it's the fakest looking like day in New York.
And quick little montage, and then they all pile back into the car.
And I have another clip because I want to talk about a kind of joke structure that this movie and many children's programming leans on.
I told y'all, and New York City's off the chain though, right?
But we aren't wearing any chains.
Yeah.
No, off the chain. It means good. Like, it looks off. Looks good.
Oh, in Korea we say 대박.
Oh.
대박.
So the convention of somebody saying like an idiom or a metaphor or whatever, and then the other person like taking it literally or not understanding. The whole like movie and sketch of My Childhood Good Burger relied on that. Like, Ed doesn't someone say hold the lettuce, and then he's
holding the lettuce.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a very easy like joke convention, but it's fun for kid stuff because it like teaches kids about those
it teaches language and puns, and it gets a laugh every time. Like, I literally a few weeks ago in my classroom was reading this book called Punished, which is all about this kid who gets cursed to speak only in puns.
Okay.
And my kids were like cracking their shit up. Like, a pun kills with a 10-year-old audience.
Yeah.
So this movie relies on those, but I have to say, like, I love the little language lessons. It's a persistent joke throughout it, and it's cute and it's funny, and like they do it a couple of times where I thought it worked well.
Yeah, it's just at the point now where like the slang being used is like so outdated that now it like makes you feel cringy, but like it's
True.
cute.
But there are little moments where like once they finally meet their rivals and they get insulted, one of them like doesn't understand the insult, and it's cute.
Right. Another thing I wrote for this part that I wondered if it was on purpose. So the character's name is Mitchie, but they all have like their slight accents. So they say like Mitchie, which like in Korean means crazy. And I like wonder if that's on purpose because he is like
Maybe.
their zany guy.
He is very zany. He's very goofy. Was that before or after they tell him that JYP works for us?
That's in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll get because then they take a detour. They're like, we want to go to the Apollo.
Yeah.
So they go into the Apollo, and the lobby is totally 100% empty. It like looks like it's closed, right?
Yeah.
And they're just like looking at the ceilings. It's so great. And then Yenny wanders away, and there's a poster that's like, tonight, amateur night, $10,000 prize.
Yeah.
And then she wanders back to the group and is like, come with me, girls. And she sneaks them. And Mitchie's like, I'm getting calls from JY is calling me. And
Because their curfew was 10 p.m.
yes, he made that very clear. And then he said, like, whatever. And Yenny says,
don't worry about JY. He works for us.
and then they walk away. And then Mitchie's like, but I work for JY. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So then they go backstage and they're like, what? You're entering us into this contest. And they're like,
let's do it. Wonder Girls always follow through. Or like, Wonder Girls never say no to a challenge.
but then that's when they say, wait, we can't go out there and be the Wonder Girls because someone might recognize us. So then they supposedly choose for themselves the group name.
The Asian Invasion.
No, I disagree. And then at this point, there's also like a host of this amateur night, and he's a stand-up comedian that I remember seeing on the Live at the Apollo like stand-up show. He has a very big gap in his front teeth, and he's like wearing a very loud suit. And he's like, and the camera there's like a fisheye lens when he's on the camera, and it's kind of scary.
It like comes up from above. It like comes down on him from above, and he like looks up into it, and it makes his eyes look crazy.
And he's like, these girls are my girls.
They're your girls.
And he's like yelling so much. Okay.
The schoolgirls.
So, but the Wonder Girls come out first and they do like a kind of disco-y version of Nobody. I have a clip of that. My favorite part of that moment is they cut to Mitchie peeking in the back, and then he makes very exaggerated faces like he just walked in on something crazy.
Like he just walked in on them changing.
I don't know, but he's like making a crazy face.
Yeah.
And then he's like, my girls are on the stage.
And somebody shushes him and he's like, it's okay. I know them.
So then everyone loves the Wonder Girls. They like play with a live band, and like I liked that version. I thought it was really fun.
Me too. I wrote they're so good.
So like, yeah, the fake crowd loves them so much. And then they go backstage, and now it's time to meet the schoolgirls. And I have a clip of this as well.
The villains of this movie, they are mean girls straight off the bat.
Oh, hi. Pleased to meet you.
Are you singers too?
Boo-boo, we're the schoolgirls. You better ask somebody.
Boo-boo? No, I'm Lim.
Well, why don't you tell someone who cares?
All we care about is winning the 10 stacks. So don't even think about getting in our way.
I don't see any stacks.
Stacks, moolah,
dinero? Robert De Niro, huh?
Really? Where?
Never mind, you guys are almost way too lame to insult.
Oh, thank you. Where the heck are you guys from anyway?
Korea?
Well, y'all need to go back.
We'll show you how a real group does it.
Before I play the schoolgirl song, just want to be like, yeah, they're bitches. And one of them looks very older than all of them.
Yeah, one of them looks a
the
lot
like
older
brunette
than the
girl,
rest.
right? Looks
yeah, she
older.
looks like the girl who's playing the choreographer later on.
Yes, she
I thought
does.
It was the same person. There was a minute where I thought it was the same person. But yeah, these poor schoolgirls. I don't know why Nick Cannon cast them to be the villains.
And I wonder if in the same way, because it's the right time period, if like Nick Cannon was trying to do the Cheetah Girls. And the Cheetah Girls, I never watched those movies, but I think they had a catchphrase too. But I wonder if her saying, we're the school's girls, better act
Cheetah Sisters.
Okay, that's what it was. Cheetah Girls, Cheetah Sisters. But her saying like, we're the schoolgirls, better act somebody. Was that their catchphrase? Because I don't like that.
I don't know.
I don't know. But we met them and they seem really, really mean. And then they sing a little song, and I have a clip of it.
Every time we show up to the spot, baby, I'm one. We can't keep these boys apart from us until the song's done. You know just what we need, just what we like. But we not hearing that tonight. We don't need
nobody. They're all too old for the schoolgirl thing, though.
Yeah, like, and one of them wears a foofy tutu in every scene, and it's not cute.
It's not weird. Cute. And it's weird because like the Wonder Girls are definitely like in their early 20s at this point. And this whole thing, this entire movie does not take place at all in a school. Like they are not supposed to be school age children, which I think I misinterpreted the trailer because I assumed that they were, I don't know why I didn't, maybe I just didn't listen to the trailer and like hear that they were on their tour. I thought it was going to be the Wonder Girls at school in a school
like a talent show
competition against these girls. Because maybe I thought that because these girls are literally wearing like weird schoolgirl outfits. And so maybe I just assumed that they were like, I don't know, in a school. But they're not. They're adults. So the schoolgirl thing is weird. But apparently they're like the local celebs of the Apollo.
My girls, your girls, the schoolgirls. And then we like cut to the end of the night. There are three poor boys who are apparently called Triple Threat.
Yeah.
And I wrote, will they come back? They will not.
They will not.
But the guy's like, maybe if you didn't wear such a dumb shirt, maybe people would vote for you. Like
you got a dumb jacket.
Yeah, he's like giving them shit. And then our girls, the Asian invasion, win. They win the competition.
But that means that they have to come back for the finals the next day.
Right. So then they're trying to sneak back. This is one of my favorite parts. They're trying to sneak back into the hotel. And then JYP goes out of his hotel room in skull onesie pajamas and a $sign like mask on his head. And he's like, I caught you.
Yep. He's like, this is 2 hours past curfew. And I was like, the acting is a little bit stiff, but I wrote the production value is like funny, and it's like a perfect Nick movie with these antics. Like, I know that this is Disney Channel, what I'm about to reference, but this scene in particular really reminded me of The Sweet Life with Zach and Cody. Of like Mr. Mosby. Stuff. Yeah, like hotel hallway antics with like a guy who's scolding you.
JYP, I will say I found him very charming in this. I thought he did a very good job.
I thought he did a good job
when I first saw him in the credits.
I hate him at first.
Because when I saw him in the credits, I was like, oh, you put yourself in the movie? Because he's that kind of person. But he's funny, so I wasn't too mad.
Yeah.
So after he like dresses down them and he's like, you have to wake up early because it work out.
Now you have to have a 5 a.m. rehearsal.
And then he goes back and he locked this. It was so funny. He locked himself out of his hotel room and they like spend like 10 seconds longer on it than you think that they would. And like, that's why it's funny. Him trying to get locked himself out. And like, it's playing like, womp, 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 like kind of music. I love it. So that was funny. Then what happens? Okay, then they do dance rehearsal and they dance to their own song, Love Me Like Money, which came out the next year officially with a verse from Akon. Oh. Which I thought was interesting because if I remember correctly, like Akon's moment of being in every single song was like 2007, 2008. So I feel like it was a little...
Definitely wasn't 2013.
Yeah, it was a little late. It wasn't a little late. It wasn't a good grab on the Akon.
Isn't that that's like post-jail Akon?
Oh, I don't remember. Oh, right.
He went to jail for having all those guns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, so that song, Love Me Like Money.
I thought the funniest part about their rehearsal was like, so they went for their workout, which apparently Mitchie had to join.
Yeah, and Mitchie was like,
Mitchie's
I'm so sweaty.
I'm done.
No, he said something like, my booty hurts.
Yeah,
like,
my booty hurts from all those squats.
Mitchie.
And then the choreographer comes out and is like, I hope you girls are all warmed up. And he's like, warmed up? I'm done. And he goes and lays down and the girls have to dance. And the choreographer just like stands there and like has to pretend that she's like giving them notes while they do their dance.
They do their perfect choreography that they always do. Then they sit down and like look at a tablet and they like go to the schoolgirls website. This is where I found out how it was spelled and I couldn't believe it. And they like put up a diss video and they're like, those girls think they could beat us. Like, we're going to be at the spot tonight.
Yeah, come through if you dare.
If you can get in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you can even get in.
And they're so mean. So then they like are in an alley and there's a big security guard.
Wait, no, this is where this is where America
Oh my God,
happens.
thank you. Thank you.
Because
this is an important
They
clip.
watch this call out video or whatever. And the girls at first are like, "Oh, whatever. Like we don't have time to go to this final like we were not planning on going back for the finals. We have to prepare for our own show." And then Mitchie tells them how it's done.
I don't know how y'all do things in Korea, but in the United States of America, when someone calls you out, you gotta stand up for the competition. Check it out.
Oh, okay. So he says that before he hands them the tablet with the diss video.
Oh, yeah. And then they watch the diss video and they're like, we can't stand for this.
So then they're in an alley, and a thing, because it'll come back, a thing I forgot to set up or say in the very beginning when they're in the plane. JYP says something about like, and I got these tickets to a baseball game. And then they all don't react at all. Like Korea, like baseball is huge in Korea.
Yeah.
But they look at him like, what?
Like, why would we ever want to
And he's
go
like,
to this?
America.
They love
baseball.
baseball there. And apple pie. And I was like, but you love baseball in Korea too.
Yeah. And then he's like met with silence. And then he like puts the ticket and he's like, anyway. And I remember when it happened, I was like, that was weird because like the joke doesn't land and it's weird. So they're trying to bribe this security guard and Mitchie's like, come on, man, I'm here all the time. And then here's the Nick Cannon cameo.
Yeah,
he comes through. They let him run. Is he playing himself? He's like, hey, good to see you, Nick.
Yeah. And Mitchie's like, why'd you let him in? Like he didn't have it. Oh, because the bouncer's like, no invitation, no entrance. And then Mitchie's like, that guy didn't have an invitation. He's like, that guy's Nick Cannon. It's like, oh.
And again, this reminded me of the other movie we watched, Make Your Move, because it had like the same alley and the same bodyguards and the same, like, you can't come in here.
Yeah.
It was
and
the same.
like weird shitty underground club that's in like a warehouse with like a dumb DJ and his lazy ass beanie on his head.
Yeah, so the point, we'll get there. So the point, I brought the baseball tickets up again because that's how they get into the club. They remember they have the tickets, they offer them to the security guard, and then he says like the Yankees. I love the Yankees. And it's such a good performance from this like weird guy who's not an actor and is just like a giant person. So yeah, then they go into like a very similar to Make Your Move, like underground dance club.
Yeah, and the
world of
girls.
dance, like the world of dance crew is there in their t-shirts, like doing an exhibition for some reason.
And the schoolgirls perform like some song of theirs.
They sing a Wonder Girl song called The DJ Is Mine.
Yeah.
But it's like them singing on a verse because they play it at the credits. Like the Wonder Girls do a verse and then the schoolgirls do a verse.
And when they first walk in, and Yenny, because she's like the main character, is like, come on, Mitchie, let's dance. And so she and Mitchie are dancing, and there's a very, very brief moment where she like makes eyes with the DJ. She like makes eye contact with the DJ. It's so fast. But I saw it and I was like, oh, that's interesting, like eyes with the DJ. And then the schoolgirls come out and they sing a verse of the Wonder Girls song, The DJ Is Mine. And I remember being like, wow, these lyrics are so on the nose.
Yeah.
Because I could tell, because I like of the formulaic nature of this movie, that like, oh, are we going to get some history between like the schoolgirls and this DJ, and then the DJ is going to like Yenny, and we kind of got it, but they didn't delve into it.
Yeah, it didn't go very far because the schoolgirls are very mean and they like get in a kerfuffle. They're like pushing and being like, I'll fight you.
Yeah.
And then the DJ runs over.
And the DJ runs over and is like, and he like pushes them apart, and I don't remember the main schoolgirl's name, but he says her name and he's like, come on, like, you really gonna start drama on my night? And she's like, this isn't about you, Skills, because that's his name. Skills with a Z. And then he's like, you can't start, like, come on, girls, like, this is no place for you. And then he grabs Yenny's hand like they're old friends and leads them out of the club to safety and is like, hey, I'm Skills.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm Skills, and I'm going to the diner later if you wanna come.
He specifically says like, me and the crew are going to the diner.
But there is no crew.
Him. It's just him and the girls and Mitchie. And he, if you're wondering like, oh, what does this guy look like? He looks lame. He's wearing one of those dumb beanies that's like perched like off the back of his head, and he has like a little like like a little hipster cardigan. He might have even been wearing like a dumb like skinny scarf. He just looked like a tool.
Yeah, blonde frosted tips, just like a guy.
Yeah.
So then they go to a diner, and this is when Yenny tells her first lie, because he's like, hey, who are you guys? And they're like, we're exchange students.
Foreign exchange students, yeah.
From Korea. And then he's like, I ordered you all chicken and waffles. And they're like, chicken and waffles? That's
breakfast
so weird.
And dinner? What?
But then they like it.
Yeah.
And it's very strange. I wrote this. The diner scene was the first time I noticed how weird and echoey the sound was.
Yeah.
Because it was
obvious that they were completely alone in the diner.
Yeah.
Like there was no background
ambient noise.
Click,
and it was very clearly like a real diner that they were shooting in overnight or whatever, and they didn't And then, yeah, some of the lines were strange because I think for maybe a couple of the members whose English was worse than others that they did ADR, like they re-recorded the lines like in a studio and then put them over the top. So the sound this was when I first noticed how weird the sound was. So then we cut to the morning again, I guess.
Mm-hmm. The next
Because that's
day.
all that happens with the DJ, right? Is he's just like,
that's it.
Does he say anything? Oh, no, he tells them like, if you guys want to beat them, like, it's 2 a.m. I bet they're practicing right now. He talks them up that the schoolgirls are probably working harder than them.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to the dance practice, and then this happens, and I had to call it out.
Thanks. Well, Robin, we were thinking that we wanted to put some hip-hop dancing into our show.
Hip-hop? You sure that fits your vibe?
Oh, for shizzle. What? Mitchie taught me that.
All right, then. Let's work. 5, 6, 7, 8.
So this is the weirdest fucking thing ever. So after this, they can't dance at all.
Yeah. So she goes 5, 6, 7, 8, and then just like immediately launches into this like complex
But it's not
routine.
really. She's just like doing some weird arms.
just,
I don't
like,
think this
moving her
girl's a
arms.
real dancer.
No, I don't think so either. But then the Wonder Girls are like literally falling and crying and like hitting each other and like stumbling and
Like they've never danced.
Can't do hip hop dance. It's too hard.
And she says, don't worry, hip hop is so hard. It's going to take a while.
And I mean, like, it is different from K-pop style dancing. That's true. But I don't think that the Wonder Girls would suddenly turn into crumbling fools. But
Yeah,
whatever.
it seems like it seems like a weird leap if this, because the point is that they need to get to this next moment for the drama beat of it all. But it just seemed so weird that they just suddenly could not dance because they want to do hip hop.
Totally. That it would like suddenly they're going to struggle so intensely.
So now it's like the biggest drama moment of the movie and they have a big fight.
Oh my God. This fight. It escalated so quickly.
I can't watch it though. I'll get dizzy.
The camera like spins around them as they fight and it gets faster and faster and faster.
Look, we just have to work harder.
I'm tired.
Hey, we should keep working on this. Let's not give up now.
Yeah, but Yenny, you heard Robin. We're not gonna turn into some awesome hip-hop dancers overnight.
Oh, so you just want to quit? Just like that. Are you afraid of a little hard work?
Guys, we are all tired. I think we just need some rest.
Yeah.
What? No! We need to work! Quakers never ever give up! And I'm tired of those girls pushing us around!
Yenny, do you remember what we're even here for? We're here for a tour and not some stupid talent competition.
You know what? It wouldn't be so stupid if you actually had any talent.
Oh.
You are out of control!
I'm gonna give you some space.
Wow, even Mitchie wasn't having that.
It escalated so quickly. And I just wrote like, why are we taking this so seriously? Like, and I was glad that they did call out like, hey, we're here for our tour, because this was the point in the movie where I was like, aren't they here for like a professional ass tour and they're like wasting all this time and energy?
Shouldn't their New York date have happened already?
Right?
Like, they would be moving quicker than this.
Yeah. And like now they're worrying about this amateur night at the Apollo. It's so weird. And then Yenny, in her like distressed state because she can't go to her members, she fucking calls Skills. And thankfully, he doesn't pick up. So then instead, she calls Betty.
Yes. This part was very strange. I mean, it's whatever. It's a cute kid. It's a kid movie, but it's funny how there wasn't a lot of conflict in trying to like create it. It's very odd. So yeah, she like she sends letters under the doors to like all the girls, and they meet in the lobby, and Mitchie's like, I gotta take you somewhere. Like, Yenny wants to talk to you. This is all a ruse, but it doesn't really seem like a ruse. And then Betty tells them that like she used to be. Wait, hold on. No, it's under their doors. Oh yeah. So then Betty's like, it's all about the singing. Like, you gotta sing good. And then they're like, there's an old picture. And they're like, is this a picture of you? And then she's like, oh yeah, I won at the Apollo back in 68. And I looked up the this actress, she was 7 years old in 1968. So I was like, that seems mean.
Harsh.
Because she's very much not that old.
Yeah, because she was supposed to have been an old Motown singer, is like what is like the history that she's told Yenny. So like the previous night, Yenny calls her, and I guess like together they come up with this plan.
But we don't know it because
we don't know what the plan is.
She's like, tell me what's wrong. And then it cuts like there's no more.
And so I think the ruse is supposed to be that the girls thought JYP had called the meeting and that's why he went. And then Mitchie takes them to meet Yenny at Betty's house.
Yes.
And she apologizes like very sincerely and was like, you're right. Like I was taking this too far. I'm so sorry. And then they have like dinner with Betty and she tells them like, oh yeah, I was a Motown singer. Like,
but there was a very weird shot that I like can't get over, and it seems like they cut out a musical number or something very odd happened because they slow pan over the table of all the food because she's like, I'm gonna make you soul food.
Yep.
And they like pan over the table really slow and then up to her face, and then she's like, let the feast begin, and then it cuts and then they're done eating. They're like, that was a good meal. And I was like, that was so weird. Like, where was the rest of that?
It was really dramatic, like the soul food thing. And it would have made sense if she had burst into song as well, because she had just told us like it's all about singing. And
I do believe this woman
singer.
might have, and that this actress might have been a good, like a singer. So yeah.
So it was very strange. But so they eat all of this soul food,
which makes them fall asleep. And she's like, that's what soul food does to you. And I was like, what are we doing here? But it comes back.
Yeah, it comes back.
So then all the girls are sleeping and Betty takes Yenny to the closet and we like, the camera's inside the closet, so we don't see it. But she's like, you really don't need these? And she's like, they're just collecting dust. Like, y'all need to wear them. So then they...
No, wait, and then they cut. Are you about to talk about the cut from the living room to the lobby?
Because it was so good.
It was so good.
You can describe it, please.
Go for it. I just needed to make sure that it was going to be addressed.
Yes, it was because I watched it several times because it was so good. Because it reminded me of Jonas.
Yes!
So they wake up. It's the morning. They wake up in Betty's living room and they're like, oh no, we fell asleep.
We spent the whole night here.
And they run camera right. And then as the camera like follows them over, pan cut, they're in the lobby of the W. It's like a camera trick. It's not like a weird set problem, but it just sort of seems like they ran there.
Yeah.
Instantly. And then I have a clip from this because JYP has to lay down the law. And again, I was very charmed. I pulled a lot of JYP clips.
Oh my god, did we stay here all night? Cover
Well, if it isn't the Wonder Girls.
Joey, we can explain.
No need for explanations anymore because obviously nobody respects me as their manager.
JY, it's not what you think.
True.
Oh, I think I just may need some help keeping an eye on
His
him.
hair is so tall.
I know. He looks like a cockatiel.
When I look calm? Because calm people have solutions. Fellas!
5 monstrous dudes just appeared.
I think you Wonder Girls need babysitters. And guess what? I got one for each of you.
Joey, let's talk about this.
Nothing to talk about because I talked it over with your parents and they agree this is best. So go on now, girls, up to your rooms.
Wow. What a jerk. But yeah, there's like 5 giant bodyguards. So then they're sitting up on their couch and they're like, when are we going to do? Like,
we can't get out of here.
Can't go. And then they get a text and it's like, from Apollo Theater, your limo is on the way. And they're like, oh my God, they're sending us a limo. How convenient. But how are we going to get out of here? And at that very moment, Mitchie leans over. And he's like, I got an idea.
So then Mitchie shows up and he has like arms full of all of this food and the guy and he's like, hey y'all, like,
You hungry? You hungry?
I got y'all some food. I ordered you some food. And one of the guys like, ooh, great. What'd you get? And he's like, I got y'all soul food. Oh, that's the best soul food in New York. And cut to all of them pass the fuck out.
Yeah.
In the hallway.
Because as we established a few minutes ago, soul food makes you sleepy.
creepy.
I had a good laugh at just the blocking of that scene because, the kid was carrying so much. And I do not feel like any of these bodyguard guys were actors. Like, they are just, or they are people who get hired to be giant and stand in the background. Like, they don't talk a lot. But they have to do a lot of blocking to pass this food around. And like one of the bodyguards has 2 drinks and he's leaning very hard across the hallway because I think one of the other guys was supposed to take the drink, but he isn't taking it. He's like looking at Mitchie, but the guy's just holding the drink in the frame for like a really long time. I was distracted by it. But so the bodyguards are asleep. And I also wrote gross eating because when the bodyguards eat the food that's like horror movie close-ups of their faces,
they
they're
do like the slanted, like the diagonal angles. What are Dutch angles? That's what they're called. Like
funny
from the
choices were
them,
made.
Like,
that's why I liked this. Like funny choices were made.
So they all pass out.
Then they're in a limo.
But
the limo driver has kidnapped them, or because we like are cutting back and forth between the limo where the girl's like, we're so excited to perform tonight, and backstage at the Apollo where the comedian is running around and be like, anyone seen the Asian invasion? Where are they? You have a clipboard? Do you know where the Asian invasion is? And like he's just yelling, and then one of the girls is like, oh, they're not going to be coming.
My plan.
I sent them to New Jersey.
Yeah. And then the other
here's
girl
a moment.
It's like, you're taking this too far.
I have a clip of this, and I labeled this clip, ooh, call that bitch out.
Looking good, ladies. We're gonna take this one tonight. I can feel it.
Wait, what about those Korean girls?
We don't have to worry about them. I've got a little surprise in store for our Asian Spice Girls.
Hello, I don't know if you guys forgot, but I'm Filipino. Quit it with the Asian jokes.
Can you relax? We're not even talking about you.
Whatever, Lauren. Keep it real. You're afraid of their talent.
Yeah,
you know
Lauren.
what? Talent or no talent, Monica, they are not getting in our way tonight.
I just wrote, yes, Monica.
Yeah. So that's very rude. Okay, so then they realize that they're being kidnapped by the limo driver. They're like, we're going the wrong way.
Because Mitchie's like, we're going the wrong way. And he says, hey, stop. And the driver won't stop. So he just sticks his head out the window and goes, stop, help us. We're going the wrong way.
And there's a tour bus next to them. And he tells the tour bus, like, stop, we're being kidnapped. So the tour bus pulls out in front of the limo to force a stop, which again, another reminder of make your move. They pull that move at one point when Derek's with Boa. They pull the car in front, so they have to get out.
You're so right.
There were like a lot of parallels in the only 2 movies we watched for this show.
Also, do they have Starline tours in New York?
That's again why I thought it was shot out here.
Okay, because it's one of those like open air vans that they have all over Hollywood.
But that doesn't seem like a New York thing.
It doesn't seem like a New York thing either, but maybe it is. And
point is, the bus is full of Korean people.
Yeah, the bus is full of tourists who recognize the Wonder Girls. And so they like take a bunch of pictures of them and then give them a ride.
Also, I wanted
Apollo.
to point out, because it's very great, at this moment, all of the Wonder Girls are wearing matching tiny trench coats. Yes. So cute.
And they look so great.
Little black T-strap shoes. And they looked like little cute spies.
So fantastic.
Then all the tourists are taking pictures of them and they're like, we gotta go. So then I guess the tourists gave them a ride. I'm not sure how they get back. It doesn't matter, but they show up, they get there. Let's see. Oh, they get there and the Filipino girl who was just defending them is like, I hope you break a leg. And they're like, what? And they're like,
and she
that
says,
means
it means
nice.
good luck. Yeah.
So then here's another moment that I wrote in because I loved it when JYP discovers that they are gone.
Because JYP comes out and he like sees all these people asleep.
Didn't pay you guys to sleep. Oh, please don't tell me. They're gone! Yo, they're gone. Yo, look at me, they're gone. Yo, find my Wonder Girls. Where are my Wonder Girls?
He grabs the camera
and he
just shakes it.
Where are my Wonder Girls? So then they bring out like the schoolgirls do their song. It's like another song. They're still wearing the same bad outfits, just like in another color. Like that girl still has a bad. The schoolgirls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, their performance is lame.
Then the Wonder Girls do go out. I wrote that they look amazing.
They look really cute, but it is really silly to imply that the outfits they're wearing were once Betty's.
Yeah.
Because they are A, very modern, and B, very small.
So small.
Very small.
Euban specifically, she wears the shortest, like really short dresses the whole movie.
Yeah, she's definitely like the sexy one.
I wonder if
movie.
as the Hyuna replacement, if I don't know much about Wonder Girls, if she like had to wear the smallest outfits.
Maybe because
she seems like the sexy one.
I'm going to bring, that's what I just said.
Oh,
She was like the sexy one, and I'm going to bring up her outfit in the credit song.
Great. But yeah, they have like beehive haircuts and these very cute, sparkly 60s
These like
dresses.
little black, no, they're not 60s. They're very modern.
But they're
black
to be.
and they have like lace and polka dots on them. They're cute, but they're not 60s.
And I have a clip of their big performance where they sang "Be My Baby."
And it's so cute.
That moment was one of my favorites. What you just heard, because like JYP has several scenes, like he runs up to the ticket booth and he's like, "Ticket, give me a ticket!" And he like throws money at the kid, and then he's running down the hallway and he's opening a bunch of doors. He comes into the whole theater and he's walking through the aisle, and then at that moment is when he realizes that the Wonder Girls are on stage.
Yeah, like when he first walked into the theater, he didn't realize it was them right away.
Yeah, it's very weird, but it took him a while. Yeah, so he has a real good reaction shot, and then they cut to every person that we've met so far
in the audience, cheering them on, including
Betty's
Mr.
sitting
Skills.
behind the DJ.
Yeah, Betty's conveniently sitting right behind Skills. I will say that they do some weird choreography when they say "Be My Baby," because like some of them are just like they're just like shuffling along, and they're carrying a baby, and then Yenny, who's singing that line, rubs her belly like she's pregnant. And it's fucking weird because that's not the kind of baby that they mean, but whatever.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It was very strange. Okay, so then they get to the end and like the Wonder Girls are about to win. They do like voting by claps.
Yeah, that's how the Apollo chooses a winner, and that is actually true of the theaters. Like it's by audience reaction. So the host just like puts their hand over over a performer's head, and then the audience has to cheer or boo, and whoever cheers the loudest wins.
So here's the big moment.
The girls from the Far East, the Asian invasion.
Wait. I have something to say.
Well, say what you got to say.
I'm sorry, but we're withdrawing from the competition. Fact is, we were never supposed to be in this competition. We're a very professional group in Korea called the Wonder Girls. We wanted to prove that we could be accepted in America, but it's not right of us to stand in the way of someone else's dreams. And I know you've worked so hard at being a great group, and you should be rewarded for that. Thank you, guys.
DJ Skills starting
the slow clap. So then they give the big check to the schoolgirls.
Yeah, which I thought was really sweet. I thought the ending of this movie was really, really sweet.
Because then, they go backstage and JYP does that thing where he's like, "You girls have put me through so much.
I'm so proud of you."
And,
it's really, really sweet. The schoolgirls come up and they're like, "Oh, we're sorry. Like, y'all are cool." One of the girls is wearing the most insane sunglasses like the whole time.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. They're wearing the most insane sunglasses the whole time. And then it cuts, and then we're ready to like wrap this whole thing up.
Yeah, so then they're next to like the biggest Wonder Girls tour bus ever, which we have not seen yet because again, they've been, and where are they going to? Did they land in New York and not do a show there?
Yes, did they ever do their show? Are they on their way to their show now? We'll never know.
We'll never know, but it's like a big pink Wonder Girls bus and everybody, and Yenny is standing outside of it with DJ Skills. Did you want me to play this moment or?
Yes. Well, first, before this happens, the schoolgirls come up and they're like, hey, Wonder Girl, we got some unfinished business. And then DJ Skills is like, yo, let's not throw any punches. And then they laugh and they're like, no, just kidding. Like JYP signed the schoolgirls, so they're coming on tour with us. And they like laugh and get on the bus. And then she's like, well, I gotta go. And earlier had taught him how to like, this is how we make a promise in Korea, is like, they do like a pinky stamp pinky promise and then like touch their thumbs together. And so she's like, yeah, I promise, like I'll come back or whatever. Like we'll be back at the end of our tour. And then he says this.
Now don't forget about me while you're gone.
I won't. I promise.
This is how we promise in America.
Yenny, you're holding up the show.
All right.
Oh, come on.
So, if it wasn't clear by that clip, he kisses her after he says that line.
Yeah, I wrote, whoa, kissing in very big letters. Did not expect that.
I couldn't believe it. I wrote, kiss, let idols bang. I also liked that JYP only came out and said, excuse me, you're holding up the show.
Yeah, because that's not true to life, because they were still under a dating ban at the time.
True. So very interesting that they chose to include that in the movie. But I just fucking hate that line. This is how we make promises. No, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
No,
I don't like that at all.
If someone tells you that you have to kiss them in order to make a promise, they're lying to you.
Yeah, that's not an American custom. It's not true. So yeah, then that's it. And then there's a credit sequence where they do the full DJ is Mine, like one verse for Wonder Girls, one verse for Schoolgirls. Then there's like a good rap breakdown, and then they all do it. They're wearing some very interesting costumes.
Crazy outfits, but I have to shout out Yubin in it because she's wearing the best costume of them all.
Oh yeah, it's hot.
It's so hot. She looks amazing. It's like this cute little red leather like tube top matching skirt crop top combo. It's so fucking cute. She looks great.
I liked Halim's, I know it wasn't as flattering, but I liked it. It's like a purple, like flying squirrel dress.
Yeah.
It like didn't have sleeves. It was just like a big,
like a poncho
poncho dress. It was very crazy. And then like Yenny's has like a circle cut out. They were interesting costumes for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, then that was it. That was the Wonder Girls movie.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it at all. It was fine.
Yeah, it was very fine. I just got me wondering, like, what kind of,
I got you wondering.
Oh, yeah, because that's their name, the Wonder Girls. Wow. About, if there was a little kid at home on a Saturday night in 2011 that, like, watched that, like, did this movie have any impact
I
on
wonder
anyone?
if this movie had any fans, any impact,
or if it was the kind of thing that they aired literally once and then no one ever saw it again. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder how often it played on Teen Nick, if it was only the one time, or not. I don't know. I wonder if this. I bet you that there's at least one person who watched this movie and was like, "This is great." And like became a fan. I just want to, should we read some of these reviews?
Oh yeah. No listeners sent us reviews, but there's some interest. There's like 3 reviews on IMDb and they were like good, medium, and bad. Like all spectrums are covered.
So the first one says, so bad it's good. We all have to agree this is the cheesiest movie ever, but if you watched, you probably love K-pop and the Wonder Girls, so it's nice to see our idols on their own film, even if it's that bad. So this person is like, okay, no new fans are coming to this, but if you liked K-pop already, you might appreciate this. Yenny is the true star in the film, though the other girls have done a good job. I don't remember if one of them has acted before, so I won't say they're not actresses. The love story is just forgettable. The schoolgirls, well, they're not bad at all. Lim's character is cute and silly. She made me laugh hard. Yenny was the strong girl, and I think that character suited her. Suhi and Sunyi barely spoke.
Yeah, and then another person left a 10 out of 10 star review and says, though it's a bit of a cliche, this film deserves a 10 out of 10 if you're a Korean music fan. It's a bit cheesy, and the fact that it's a kids' TV movie doesn't really help, but it's worth the love and support, and I'm certain everyone within the cast and crew worked hard for it, and it'll probably pave the road the road of the bridge to the more international stardoms from Korea to the U.S. In other words, this may allow within the next few years, perhaps groups like Beast or EXO or SNSD to have things in the States and for other places to and other places for their English-speaking international fans to enjoy. I feel as if this movie was mostly a guinea pig to test the waters to see whether or not we are ready for Korean entertainment to walk hand in hand with ours. After all, it's what we've been complaining about wanting for most part, right? So watch it and or buy it.
And then this last person said, so bad it's bad. Someone wrote this movie was so bad that it was good. No. This movie is really bad. Trite plot, bad dialogue, very cheaply made. It was an insult to the intelligence of the young viewers of Nick, and I think it got totally wretched ratings. And then it says, basically Nick Cannon embarrassed himself by trying to promote this entertainment company through producing such a shoddy movie. One has to wonder what his agenda was in doing
going
so.
after Nick Cannon.
Seriously, so harsh. Because this person then harps on the fact that JYP had like a couple of scandals while the Wonder Girls were living in New York. One of which was that he had building violations for the building that they were using for their offices and their like home base in Manhattan. A few of them were just basic codes as far as like he said that the downstairs was going to be for offices and then they used it for a studio, and because he had licensed it wrong, like technically that's against the law. But then there was also an issue where like the apartments above the studio like didn't have
they weren't supposed to be apartments.
They weren't supposed to be apartments, so they didn't have like a fire sprinkler system, and like they weren't up to code, and so like they weren't supposed to be sleeping there. And then like the girls didn't have health insurance coverage while they were in the States. And so that particular review really harps on the fact that like JYP ill-treated the Wonder Girls and no one should watch this movie. But whatever, I disagree. I liked this movie.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
I would say that it was probably better than the Boa movie.
I think so too. Honestly, I would. Like,
for its genre?
The two movies we watched, I would say watch this one because A, it's shorter. And the problem with the Boa movie is that it took itself so seriously, but it had no stakes. But it was insisting that it was a serious movie. Mm-hmm. This is a kid movie for kids, and it holds up to that standard just fine.
Totally.
Well, with that, we'll be right back with our random game. Okay, we're back.
And this time we have a group called Teen Top, which is a currently 5-member boy group from Top Media that debuted in 2010.
Yes.
The group currently, like I said, has 5 members named CAP, Chunji, Neil, Ricky, and Changjo, and originally had a member named Eljo in it as well, who left in February 2017.
Yes.
I don't know that much about this group. I know one of their songs, which I do really like.
I don't know. I feel like this is a name I've heard a bunch. I might have put their most recent album on my playlist of the year because I think I've said that before on the show. Like, I have a Spotify playlist that I just add every K-pop album that comes out to, and then if I hate a song, I take it off. But then I end up with these like very large playlists that is just like, here's the year, and I just put it on in the background. So I feel like there's a chance that like I've heard some Teen Top in that context, but not enough that I could grab onto it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm having really weird deja vu, specifically with the names Eljo and Neil, because they feel familiar to me, and I can't place like there's a reason we've talked about them before, like in contract disputes. Did I have something about this Eljo leaving his group? I don't know, but like it feels familiar. But the music video that came up for most recent doesn't look familiar
it doesn't
at
look
all.
familiar to us at all, and none of this feels familiar to me. My memory is worse than Shannon's though, so who knows? Anyway, Teen Top, they have been around, like I said, since 2010. They debuted with a song called Clap, and they have come out with several albums, like pretty consistently, since since their
then.
debut. They did try once to perform in Los Angeles in 2015, but the event had to be canceled because the company couldn't pay for it, which is very sad. But they went to KCON in 2015 with Girls' Generation, and I don't know, they're still around.
Yeah, and this Wikipedia page shows that they did like a lot of touring and concerts, and like so. I mean, they have.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 between 2012 and 2018. 10 different concerts or tours. They have won at Inkigayo. They've won at the Golden Discs. They've won. Let's see what else. They've never won a Mama.
Some nominations here, some honors. Oh, an MTV Music Award.
They have 11 total music show wins, 2 for Show Champion, 5 for Music Bank, 2 for Inkigayo, and 2 for the show.
Oh, it looks like instead of taking them away, the Wikipedia has finally found a way to display these music show awards. They're reorganized. I appreciate this. I'll take this.
Yeah.
If you didn't hear, our listeners let us know there's been a kerfuffle in the K-pop Wikipedia world about whether or not music show wins are
important enough to include. I'd say they are.
I think so too. So anyway, Teen Top, like we said, they've been consistently putting out music. I wonder how old they are, like if they're militarying or whatever at this
I don't know. While Shannon is looking up their member profiles, I'll just say that the member Eljo left in 2017. It was pretty recently, and it was kind of controversial.
It seems dramatic and bad.
Yeah,
he might have.
He just like suddenly deleted all evidence of being a member of this group from his social media, changed his username so that Teen Top wasn't in it, and then like privately went to the company and asked to terminate his contract because he had said he had wanted to do more solo stuff and had apparently been like turned down or like restricted in his activities. So he left terminated his contract, and the group simply chose to continue without him.
It looks like our ages here are between 92 and 95.
Okay. So 27
and
24 would be the youngest.
So they have like a year-ish before we have military times.
They could have some time. What's their latest album?
Their latest album on, let's see, Teen Talk discography. No single EP. What okay, let's see. The last EP came out this month.
Dear 9.
Oh, but it says to be announced. Does that mean it didn't come out? Interesting.
Oh no, this is the
chart.
That's the chart.
So we don't know. So yeah, it looks like they just put something out this month. An EP in June.
Oh, but it went to number 6. Hey, their albums do pretty well. Look, they're all in the top 3.
Yeah.
Okay, good for you guys. So yeah, they just released a new album. It's called what was it called? Dear 9?
Wait, where'd it go?
There it is.
Dear 9 or none, but it's N number 9 and E.
Yeah, Dear period N number 9 and E. So Dear 9, I'm going to assume. And that was a little EP, and that was their latest thing. And so we're going to watch their most watched music video, which is called Rocking, and it is from 2013.
Yeah.
So 3 years into their debut.
All right, here it comes.
All right, we got 2 guys looking tough, holding each other's shirts like they're gonna fight.
Rock it, drop it, top it, hey, don't stop it, pop it. Teen Top, we gon' rock it, drop it, top it, hey, don't stop it, pop it. Teen Top, we gon' rock it, drop it.
Okay. They're like in a big, like, domey cathedral thing with interesting hair. One of their hair is super crimped. They're wearing a lot of like bedazzled and embellished leather, tough guy. Oh, I saw a mesh.
Is that mesh? I saw a belly button.
Yeah, they're like really quick shots of them looking cooler in different scenes, but they're not showing them very well. Look at all those hats!
Oh, those pants!
Oh, he was like surrounded by hats.
Did you not see those crazy pants he was wearing? Look at them.
Oh, whoa.
They're like silver and furry. They're like a hula skirt, but of like silver tinsel.
Like tinsel pants.
So much is happening in this
It's all
music
flashing
video.
too fast. I can't get a grasp on
I can't
anything.
even describe what's happening. One of them looks kind of like Top, though. Maybe it was just a quick flash.
Yeah, they're showing
The flashes
them
are
too fast.
so quick. Basically, they're like going it. There's a couple different sets in it, I guess. Like some of it is them doing very like lackluster choreography.
And then there's
Very-
this
and
cool
fast
footwork stuff.
Oh, cool. Almost like breakdancing footwork.
And they're like mirroring each other, like they
Yeah.
kick towards each other. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Now they're doing the Running Man.
Oh, God.
And
he's
that guy's very
too.
shirtless and like wearing a lot of chains.
Yeah.
And then
And
there's
two
this
of them
other,
are trying
they're
to
like
fight.
in the LA River, like threatening to.
they're on the
oh no, they're in a
beach.
pier. It looked like they were before. It looked like they were in the LA River.
Wow, these breakdancing feet are really crazy.
And there's so many hats. There's like scenes where they're sitting in thrones, and there's like a million hats around.
Yeah. This guy, my goodness.
I wonder
But
if
then they
that's
have
the
him in
one.
a school guy outfit.
I wonder if
He's
that's
hot.
the one who has a neck tattoo in his member profile picture, because one of them did.
Oh, maybe he has real tattoos.
Those look too ugly to be fake. Like, you know, like those look real. He like a big giant angel on one side and something else.
Oh, a lady. What is happening in this music video?
I don't know. It's all going so fast. Now they have gold flashlights. And they're holding them in a really odd way.
Like they're police officers, like coming
Like,
into.
he crushed a can because the girl, he's jealous. I don't know.
Oh my god, this is so funny. The one song I have of theirs is so different from everything about this. Wow.
Wow.
Wow, look at him in his dumb schoolboy
Yeah, that guy
outfit.
has like serious eyebrows.
Yeah.
Whoops. Starting it over again, I guess.
Wow. Well, I'm very confused.
I'm confused too. What's the song of theirs that you do like?
Ironically, it's called Confusing. It's really cute. It's called Confusing. And I have it on my I like just stumbled upon it on like one of those like Pandora mixes or whatever. But it's just like a really sweet little song. And I like the only thing I knew of them was this performance that they did of this song where they were just like sitting and singing it. And it's just like really cute. And I like it a lot. It sounds like this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
Oh,
really
that sounds
cute
nice.
and it's like very nice. And that's the only thing that I know of them. I do recommend that song because I listen to it a lot. But I don't know anything else of their discography. And I was surprised to see this like, I don't know, this felt like a weird knockoff Big Bang to me.
Yeah. It sounded very Big Bang.
And like the outfits were kind of like that and them in their like weird thrones. And like that guy with the dumb tattoos and his like big chains and being shirtless, like he's the one that I thought was like trying to have like a Top vibe. He had like sort of bluish hair and intense eyebrows. But I don't know if that's always their aesthetic because this song Confusing is later than that one. It's from 2015 from an album called Natural Born Teen Top. And I never listened to the rest of that album, so I don't know if it's any good. But if you guys know anything about Teen Top or would like to send us a recommendation, go for it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I like that one song, so I'd be willing to hear more.
Yes. Intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, do you have another like actual or regular weekly recommendation that doesn't have to have anything to do with Teen Top?
I do. I have for those of you who maybe are not like necessarily 17 stans per se, I would just recommend I mentioned this at the beginning, but if you're not going to lose it over 17, you don't really care, then watch KBS Music Bank. Their YouTube channel has the entire mid-year special on YouTube. It's about an hour and 40 minutes long. It's called the KBS Music Bank Mid-Year Special, and you can just look that up, 2019. And it has a whole bunch of different people, like a ton of different acts, and they did like fun stuff, like JSN does a cover of Alligator, and ITZY comes out and does Dala Dala and like another song. I know iZone is there. They do Violetta and something else. Like each group that like really did something big so far like comes out and does their like latest. Chungha is there singing her newest song,
Snapping. It's good,
which is excellent. So yeah, I think that's really fun. It's always fun to watch a music show too. And if you've never watched like a full episode of Music Bank, you've only ever watched clips, this is fun to watch like the whole thing.
That's great. That's a good one. Okay, so my recommendation is bringing it back to Monsta X. So earlier I talked about a release that was slightly older, but this one is extra new. Minhyuk and Juwon have put out like a little unit thing. I learned that Monbebe call them honey pup when they're together.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
That's not the official name of the thing, but it's there and it's cute. The song itself is called Ongshimi, and it's like spelled out in Hangul. So like, just type in Minhyuk and Juhoney.
Yeah, Joohoney.
That's his producer name.
Credited, yeah.
He's Juhoney. But it's a trot song. Yeah. Which I love. Like, I love it. And the music video, like, they very clearly on tour, like, in the middle of the night, put on these weird ass suits and then just, like, they got a third person probably, or maybe they did it themselves. I truly don't know, but they just like are in the hallway of the hotel, out in the street, in a truck. They just sort of made their own music video, and there's like silly choreography and like
it's really goofy. And it's like Minhyuk is wearing this like totally crazy like yellow suit with these goofy sunglasses, and Juwon is wearing this like very tight bellhop outfit, and they're just like being super goofy, and it's like clearly in the middle of the night. There's one point where Minhyuk is dancing like right outside the elevator bank, and then the elevator opens and he has to like stop and like bows and let somebody out of the elevator. It's really cute. It's really fun.
It's so funny and good, and it just like really cheered me up this week. So that's my recommendation.
Good choice.
All right, that's that. If you would like to get in contact with us or see what we're up to, we can be found on social media. On Twitter and Instagram, our handle is at AMAKPopPod. If you'd like to send us an email, amakpoppod@gmail.com, amakpoppod@tumblr.com. And there's also I can never say this. This one always trips me up. Ask Me About K-Pop, the podcast on YouTube. I also learned guesting on somebody else's podcast recently that when I try to say my podcast is called Ask Me About, I always say podcast. Like before I say Ask Me About K-Pop, I say podcast.
My podcast is called Ask Me.
Yeah, because it like
Ask Me About K-Pop podcast.
Anyway, we'll be back next week. We'll see you guys then.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Jonghyun, your inspiration.